So our next recording is Martin that calls in from Florida. Let's hear it.
Hey Dan, as a fellow Eagle Scout, I was hoping to hear you talk about your Eagle project a little bit. Maybe you could also talk about what you got out of scouting, if it was a positive experience, or what you would change about it if it was a negative one.
Oh man, great question. I guess Martin knows about this because I recently put on Twitter about the, shall we say, misconduct from the Boy Scouts of America as far as the lawsuits and allegations for all of the sexual abuse and stuff. And I was kind of mad about that because it's been going on for years and years and years. And I'm disappointed that it's at the level that it's at. But I got a lot out of my Boy Scout experience. I am an Eagle Scout, and my Eagle Scout project was building some bat houses for Fort Parker State Park here in Texas. Actually, those bat houses, as far as I know, are still out there. Basically, my project consisted of researching the ecology of bats and what they needed. As you know, a lot of bat species are endangered and need some extra care. And so bat houses are kind of different from bird houses. They're put together bit differently, and basically I constructed them and gave them to the park, and we put them up in some different locations so that we could help house some stuff for the bats. And that was my project. I got my Eagle Scout when I was 17 when I finished that. That was a couple of years ago now, obviously. So yeah, really cool. Like I said, I enjoyed my Boy Scout experience. I got a lot out of it. I learned a lot about the outdoors and a lot of the activities that I still enjoy today, and helped discover a lot of who I am through those experiences. But I also think that it could be improved, and there's ways you can do that could make people more comfortable. For example, like when the Boy Scouts decided to change to allow girls, I was a supporter. I think it was great because a lot of people don't know this. The Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts are two separate organizations that are not actually related. They don't share funds or anything. So, that's where people are having the controversy because, like, oh, you're stealing from the Girl Scouts and stuff. But the Boy Scouts have been around for a long time, and they have resources that the Girl Scouts haven't. They have like a lot more scout camps and stuff. And so I'd rather girls have those experiences of going to those scout camps and doing fun stuff too, because boys should just be able to do that. People should be able to do that. So anyway, sorry, Puck, I don't know if you can contribute too much to this one.
I didn't even make it to Webelos. So and for those who don't know anything about Boy Scouts, that's like when you're 7 years old, I think. So
pretty young. Not that young, but yeah.
I was a Cub Scout. I think when I was about like 5 or 6, I have maybe I think my parents have a couple of pictures of me in uniform, but I was never in it for long enough for it to be, substantially impactful. The two big takeaways that I have about it is I believe that Boy Scouts is closely tied to religious organizations. And there was some controversy for a while that atheists were frowned upon for entering Boy Scouts, especially because it's right there in the Boy Scout pledge, I believe. Dan, you'll have to correct me on that one if I'm wrong.
So the Scout Oath and the Scout Law both are kind of, well, the Scout Oath in particular references God. The Scout Law, one of the points of the Scout Law is reverence. And so you can interpret that however you like, but, the original ideas have reverence for God, right? So there is a history of that. And when you do your Eagle Scout Board of Review, they can ask you about your faith, and they can ask you about, what the law actually means to you and stuff. And so like I had to go through that when I was a Boy Scout. Of course, I was a Christian at the time. But of course, I find it problematic today, and I wish that wasn't a part of it. I'd rather it be a bit more secular, because I don't think you need to have a reverence for God to have a reverence for the outdoors and have a reverence for nature, and to enjoy those experiences. I don't think you need to have a religious lens to interpret those things. So yeah, there is some history there. And of course, most Boy Scout groups they meet at churches and stuff like mine did. And, that's always going to be a background thing as well. If a kid who is atheist is going to feel uncomfortable meeting at a church, I can see why. So yeah, I if I could change some things about the Boy Scouts, gosh, there'd be a lot, but that would definitely be one of them. I'd like to have more secular Boy Scouts, and maybe it doesn't have to be Boy Scouts. Maybe it'd be something else. I don't know, but yeah, it was fun time. It was a fun time.
Literally anything else I know about Boy Scouts after that is what I saw in an episode of Penn and Teller's BS, and that is an incredibly biased show there. So it's not proper research to say that I watched this episode and I know anything about it that I need to. There's definitely a lot to look into. I know a lot of people like Dan who they had very great positive experiences coming out of it. We're happy they went through it and would be happy to have their kids go through it. And I hear the opposite also, where people had a horrible time. The peer pressure and the continued commitment involved in it got to be too much for some people, but they also felt like they couldn't quit for one reason or another, usually like parental or social pressure. So it could probably go both ways. I don't know enough about it. I'm going to defer this one straight to Dan. So.
Cool. Well, that's all I got to say about that. Yeah, really interesting. I don't get to talk about the Boy Scouts too much, but it was a big part of my life.